Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we close out this week in this steamy Milford gymnasium as we get set to welcome in our first coverage of the varsity boys volleyball team of the season. Tonight, the Scarlet Hawks welcome in an opponent in Cambridge Ringe Latin. Not an opponent we've had a chance to see before here on our Milford TV coverage, but happy to be with you here on this Friday night to get a chance once again to cover this boys volleyball team. And if you've been waiting for our live stream to begin, we appreciate you hanging with us, as it has been an adventurous start to this coverage here tonight, with the JV and freshman games getting started very late. Both matches went a bit long, and so finally getting going about 45 minutes past the scheduled start time for this varsity action. But we are here, we are ready, and the first point of the match is going to go to the Cambridge Ringe Latin Falcons, part of the Dual Valley League. I beg your pardon, the Dual County League. And leagues will be an interesting topic of conversation for this game this evening, as from our research going into this match tonight, Milford has no longer their previous league membership, was in the Tri-Valley League. They've been part of the Tri-Valley League for the last several seasons. But according to what we had a chance to take a look at going into this match tonight, they are now listed as an independent team, so no longer part of the TVL. We'll try to get some more details on that from Coach Mainini as the season goes along. We haven't had a chance to check in with the coach so far on the season. Milford comes into this matchup tonight at 3-3 overall on the season, fresh off of a year last year that saw the team advance all the way to the Division II Final Four. Cambridge Ringe Latin, meanwhile, comes in tied for third place in their division standings over in the Dual County League. They are 1-2 overall, but the first 3 points out of the chute have gone to the Falcons. Both teams clad in black. Milford with that red and white accent. Cambridge with the silver and white accents. A little bit of a delay here in between points. Looks like some business going on over at the scorers table. So that gives us an opportunity to settle in a little bit more, as just barely snuck in this live stream ahead of the start of this match. A lot that has to get reconfigured in between the sub-varsity and varsity matches for us to be able to get our TV setup ready to go. But all settled in now, and looking forward to getting to know this new look Scarlet Hawks team. Of course, losing a number of valuable contributors from the last couple of seasons. Do still have a lot of talent on this roster, as Coach Mainini always seems to find a way to turn things over, get new talent up through the youth ranks, and ultimately ready to compete at this varsity level. But Milford, meanwhile, still looking for their first point of this match, as Alex Guerra unloads from the far side, gets the deflection and the first Milford point of this match. So 4-1 here in the early going. Alex Guerra, all of a sudden now one of the seasoned veterans on this team. He's been part of this varsity roster since his freshman year. If my memory is correct, I believe Alex suffered an injury right at the end of the regular season last year and was unable to compete in the postseason. But still, Milford was able to advance all the way to a Division II Final Four. Arthur Gomes, now one of the captains this year on this Milford squad. He too has been part of this varsity group since his freshman season, now an upperclassman. That shot just hugged that near sideline, and right now Cambridge with all their shots working for them. Milford battling back, though. They've cut it to a 1-point margin. As a matter of fact, I think that one might have gone out on the near sideline after checking things over on the scoreboard. Milford with a nice save over along the near sideline there on that play, but ultimately the return goes long, so it stays a lead for the Falcons for the time being. As I mentioned, Milford once again under the direction of head coach Andrew Mainini, who has become a mainstay at the helm of this program. Cambridge Ringe Latin, meanwhile, is under the direction of their head coach Kelly Leary. did have a chance to watch the sub-varsity matches in their entirety between these two schools, as Cambridge didn't get to the building here in Milford until closer to 5:30. That point awarded to the Scarlet Hawks. Milford able to take wins in each of those sub-varsity matches, so looking to make it a clean sweep of their Cambridge Ringe Latin opponents. Still a 2-point differential on the scoreboard, still in the first set. Set up along the far side, sent up the line, but out. Off the return shot of number 11, that is Freddie Montalvo Lugo on the Cambridge side. Now a hard shot blocked up front nicely by Milford, and right in the middle of that action for the Scarlet Hawks was Ryan Franklin. We saw Ryan sparingly during the high school basketball season, but you would think that his size and athleticism will be very valuable up front for this varsity roster. Good diving bid by Owen Callahan. Comes up just short. And Coach Mainini active as always on the sidelines. A 1-point differential on the scoreboard here as we continue on in first set action. Setting up the return shot for Guerra, this time on the near side. And now the blast weakened by the front row, where again to the back, it's dug out by the Falcons. Now pushed to the back where Gomes, Callahan, and then Franklin deliver it back across, and it's a kill for Ryan Franklin. Happy to have everyone with us who's checking in on our live stream coverage this evening. Once again, bringing you this coverage live on our YouTube page. Catch all of our live streaming sports coverage at youtube.com/MyMilfordTV. All the games are instantly logged there after the fact, so if you're not watching the game there live but want to take it in after the fact, it is immediately available on YouTube. It's such a nice feature, bringing you our games live on YouTube. Milford taking their first lead of this first set, but lasting ever so briefly as the Falcons tie it right back up again. We'll dig into how this early season has gone for Milford so far. Already 6 matches deep into their season as that ball stays inside the back line. Milford couldn't get back there to make a play. Or did it go long? We'll get these calls right as we start to settle into our regular season form of covering volleyball once again. So it's a 9-8 lead for the Hawks. Return comes from the near side to the back line for Guerra, and set up now over on the near side for Milford's Adrian Cerqueira. His shot is delivered past the back line, and that will tie this first set back up at 9. A good crowd here supporting the Scarlet Hawks on this Friday night, the eve of the start of April vacation for the kids in the Milford district. Cerqueira again trying to take it down the line, but delivers it out in front of the Falcons bench. And Cambridge retakes the lead now 10-9. Ball dribbling over the net, but Cambridge stays with it. Now Callahan sets it over the middle for Guerra, but a nice dig by Tashi Mulug-Lebrang. Cerqueira can't get the elevation on his return, one of the longer rallies we've seen so far in the match. So Cambridge starting to stretch that lead back out once again. Cerqueira again. Milford calling for a deflection, but the officials saw it differently, and that's another point. So Milford had taken the lead, but right now Falcons going back on a roll. It's 5 straight points for the Falcons, but it will come to an end there as Milford pulls it back to within 2. To 10 in favor of the Falcons, with now the serve going to Jimmy Ayala for the Hawks. Sprawling play by Gomes, good heads-up play. Now Sequeria, his shot blocked. Quick hands for Sequeria, gets right back into the play. Milford commits the infraction to give Cambridge the point. No underclassmen on the roster this year for Milford, no seniors as well. This is a 100% junior class represented Scarlet Hawks varsity roster. So some new faces getting their first taste of varsity action, but the good news is all of these players will be eligible for this year as well as next. So a chance for some continuity on the roster. Hard deflection off the front row. A chance again for Sequeria. Again, it is just a bit long, so right now looking to find that stroke from that outside hitter position, and Coach Mainini calling the first time out of the match as Cambridge has again stretched a lead out to 4 points. 14 to 10 in favor of the Falcons here in the early going. So looking now at how things have gone so far on the season for the Scarlet Hawks. They opened their regular season back on March 31st in a matchup against Wayland on the road. They were able to win that match 3-1. They then matched up with a team that's become a real powerhouse. Not really become, they have been a powerhouse in the volleyball ranks for quite some time, Westfield High School, but they have been right at the top of the power rankings the last couple of seasons. And they delivered Milford a 3-0 sweep on April 1st, also on the road. Milford played their first home game on April 4th against Nipmuc. They were able to take that match in a 3-set sweep. They then outlasted Lincoln Sudbury in a 5-setter on April 6th last week. And they were away for a tough 3-1 loss against Agawam this past Monday. And then also on the road, they suffered a 3-1 defeat against Newton North. And a lot of away games. This is why this has only been our first opportunity to cover the team so far on the season. Only one home game out of the first 6. But if you might recall, last season featured, I want to say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10+ home games right out of the chute for the Scarlet Hawks. They had an extended stay at home early on in the season, so perhaps that is evening out a bit here in this 2023 spring season. Just the second time the team's been able to play at home. Trailing now 15 to 10 as we're back out of the timeout. And Cambridge getting a nice block up front. That looked to be Leo Rothenberg, a senior listed at 6'5". A couple of 6'5" players on this roster, as well as Jaden Ferreira Miller. A lot of height and a lot of hyphenated names on this Falcons roster. Rothenberg trying to use the foot to keep that ball alive, but unsuccessful, and Milford grabs a point here. They trail now 16 to 11. Just a brief lead in this set so far for Milford. Otherwise, Cambridge has been in control. Another good kill. Service now from number 15, Henry Bonney. Ends up going as a point for the Hawks. 17 to 12 now as Arthur Gomes will serve, the libero, junior captain. Gomes along with Alex Guerra, the two captains on the Hawks roster this season. And Gomes with a sprawling play leads eventually to a return for Callahan up front. And now Gomes with a much more traditional dig, leading to a pulverizing shot by Alex Guerra that deflects way up into the crowd. as we have gotten to see in the last couple of seasons, Alex can put some tremendous velocity behind his shots. There's Callahan setting things for Guerra, but Callahan getting called for the double hit. An 18-13 lead. Callahan on serve now for the Hawks. A little trickery up front for the Falcons. That might have made the difference there. The lead now for Cambridge is 5. The serve now going to Jeremy Kravitz, the senior. A lot of seniors on this Falcons roster. Guerra sends that one directly off the front row and long out of play. Guerra's been hunting for those hard deflections in this first set. Gets another one there. And now will take over on serve. But first, it is Coach Leary over on the Cambridge side that calls the timeout, stopping action with a score of 19-15 in favor of the Falcons. So we'll take a look now at how the season has started for Cambridge Ringe Latin. Again, playing out of the dual county league. They won their opening game on the season back on March 31st against Arlington High School, 3-1. And then after that, did not play a match again until this past Monday. So they had almost a week and a half of inactivity. On Monday in a home matchup against Brookline, they fell 3-0. And then O'Brien was able to outlast them in a 5-setter on Wednesday of this week. So the Falcons 1-2 overall on the season. Back to action now with Guerra on serve. Gomes, Callahan, and now Franklin set up perfectly for the spike. Milford pulling it a little bit closer now at 19-17. All this happening on Alex Guerra's serve. And now the return from number 5, Ben Davis, goes out beyond the back line, and we're down to a 1-point differential. So Cambridge going on a run. Milford now countering an extended run here on the Guerra serve. And Franklin there with the stuff. Now Davis again, this time drives it down the line. Gets the kill that keeps the lead with Cambridge now as they close to within 5 points of this opening set. Now dug out by Gomes. Franklin sends that one way too strong over the back line. After almost every point, we get an emphatic critique from Coach Mainini as he tries to get these players to round into form. Franklin with a much better return there. Out of the grasp with the back row. It's 21-20. As Milford will go back on serve. Gustavo Bento will take it. Bento delivers it to the middle of the floor. Now set up for a shot over on the far side that goes long from number 20, Jaden Ferreira Miller. We are knotted up at 21, so this first set going right down to the wire. Hard shot. And fortunate for Milford, they didn't make contact with that shot as it ended up going wide along the far sideline. And Milford's going to take the lead. And now they need just 3 more points to steal this opening set. Nicely dug out. But the setup for Callahan drifts. A little bit of a lack of communication there up front between Callahan and Joey Newman. And a big swing there. Milford got the terrific dig. Looked like they were in position for the spike that would put them on the doorstep, but now we're tied up again. And Newman able to get revenge just a point later, that time executing a little off-speed shot that gets the job done. And so Milford retakes the lead, 2 points away from taking the set. Looking for a good service game out of Jimmy Ayala. Continues to be a good atmosphere here in the Milford gym. From the left, Milford gets the block. Cambridge keeps it alive, and Milford sucked in a little too tight to the net. They pay the price. That ties things up at 23. And a critical point coming up here on the serve of Eric Sue. We'll get a timeout before this plays out, so some drama here in a lengthy first set. So both these coaching staffs now trying to make the necessary adjustments. A lot of Milford alum on this coaching staff for the Scarlet Hawks. Of course, also Tammy Weber listed as an assistant for this coaching staff once again, though I have not seen Coach Weber for this game this afternoon. This evening, I should say, as we're now approaching 7:30 in the evening. On a day that exceeded the 90-degree mark. Not exactly the ideal conditions, and not exactly the conditions you expect here in the Milford gym this early in the spring. This is usually more saved for games played in June to get temperatures this sweltering. But meanwhile, out of the timeout, we see Cambridge with a critical play up at the net, so it is Cambridge who will serve for this opening set. The serve from Sue is long, and so we'll go beyond the 25 points in this opening set. So again, we reach one of these critical points, this time on the serve for Alex Doirun. Took out by the libero, LeBrang. Drifting over to Guerra, but he couldn't make the play, had to send it back to the middle. And the ensuing shot from Ayala goes long, and so we've seen a couple of those in this set. Milford with setups that drift a bit, not putting Milford in ideal position to get a quality return, and so now it's once again Cambridge serving for the set. Taken across by Davis, now Guerra lined up for the return, but he won't get the chance. It's a held ball called against Milford, and that is how this first set comes to an end. So Milford gave themselves a chance, in this first set. They came back from a couple of deficits, and right now Owen Callahan still upset with the call. Getting pulled away by one of his captains to try to keep his cool. So it is Cambridge who strikes first. They'll take the 1-0 lead. We'll flip sides of the floor and be back for the start of the second set in just a moment here on Milford TV. About to get things started here in the second set in this varsity boys volleyball matchup between the Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Cambridge Ringe Latin Falcons. It was the Falcons taking the opening set 26-24 just moments ago, and now beginning second set action with a vicious return from Alex Guerra that once again takes a deflection out of play, and that has really been one of the big recipes for success for the Hawks offense in this match so far. I think really the key for the Hawks as this season goes along is going to be, can they get consistent offensive contributions from other spots on the floor besides Guerra? Milford with a hard deflection up front. And again, Guerra this time. Cambridge gets the block. The Leo Rothenberg again front and center in the action there, and you can just see that combination of Rothenberg and Montalvo Lugo up front. Some tough height for Milford to overcome. Multiple players listed at 6'5", multiple players listed at 6'4", so this is a tall Falcons roster. Milford does have the early 2-1 edge here in the second set. Owen Callahan, who was upset at the call that concluded the first set, on service now. And a pretty looking spike out of Ryan Franklin. Nice celebration after. Three to 2 score now as the serve will flip back over onto the Cambridge side for the aforementioned Leo Rothenberg. Delivers it to the back row where Gomes is there. Milford gets the return on the far side, and now it's Davis for Cambridge. And they'll call that a point for the Falcons, and they get the big celebration after the fact. Tied up now at 3. Gomes keeps that ball on the court and ultimately lofted back across by Doiron. And now a little confusion amongst the front row for Cambridge. Ends in a point for Milford. They retake the lead here in the second. Hard block up front that time for Milford, but the Falcons track it down. The double hit is the call. Guerra back on serve, and now a held ball called against Henry Bonney. And Milford with the largest lead they've had at any point in this match so far. It's 6-3. They've had some of their best success when Guerra has been serving. Opening up a 7-3 lead now. A bit of a softer serve this time, and set up perfectly up front for Franklin. Ryan Franklin proving to be a good weapon up at the net for the Scarlet Hawks. He is listed at 6'2". The tallest player on the Scarlet Hawks roster is Joey Newman at 6'4". Alex Guerra listed at 6'1". A couple of players listed at 6 foot even, and Owen Callahan and Derek Fowling. So into a timeout here with Milford enjoying now an 8-3 lead, trying to make the necessary adjustments here after dropping a tough opening set. The Hawks are already set to return to the floor. Start to take a look back at the roster configuration for this team from last season, as again, we have seen a good deal of turnover. Back to that as we get back to live action, and the timeout just what the doctor ordered for the Falcons as they're able to grab the point on a deflection off the front row. And Now the serve from Jeremy Kravitz. Set up for Franklin, who sends it all the way up against the back wall. And that prompts again some immediate response from Coach Mainini. Clear that there's a lot of raw talent there with Franklin. When he can harness it, he's an extremely effective player. Just looking for that consistency and those proper mechanics. Score now 9-6. Milford led 8-3 before Cambridge took the timeout. Now starting to climb their way back into this set. And again, a little bit of awkwardness there on the setup leads to the double touch. Just not quite in sync. And now that serve out of the reach of Guerra to make a play to keep it alive. He was able to get a hand on it, but that's all. And a 1-point difference now as Cambridge has once again gone on a run and put it to an end by an emphatic return by Newman. Davis serving for the Falcons. Guerra delivers it softly back across this time. And now quick hands. It's a good dig. Now a one-handed return again to Guerra. Hard deflection, but run down by Dylan Sparks. And ultimately, our longest rally of the match so far goes in Milford's favor, helps to push them back in front now by a point. And Ayala once again will serve for Milford, up 10-9. That deflection goes out of play as a point for the Falcons, as they will tie things up at 10. So overall right now, Cambridge on a 7-2 run. A return from the near side for Doiron goes out of play, and Cambridge has come all the way back to take a lead here in set 2. Breath now from Tashi Mulug Labrang before he delivers the serve. Softly delivered by Newman. Cambridge was able to read it, but then got called for the double hit. That will tie the set back up. So a couple of long sets here in the early going for the Hawks. Serve into the net gives Cambridge the lead right back. Just noticing right now that this game is being played under the watchful eye of several high-profile Scarlet Hawks boys volleyball alumni. Let's see, Joao Boaventura over behind the Milford bench right now, along with Valdir Aragoso, part of the team from last year that went to the Final Four. Other alumni over there as well. Watching a 12-all tie here in the second set with Cambridge Ringe Latin up by a point. A little confusion there for the Falcons. Looks like Jack Callahan might be over there as well, also graduating last spring. That's just to name a few. Here's Guerra unleashing, but there is that height up front, paying dividends once again for the Falcons, led by Leo Rothenberg. Certainly going to rack up his share of blocks on this season. Tied up at 13 now. Here's Guerra to the back row, and that's going to take a hard deflection out. (14-13) Hawks. Serve now for Callahan. We're to the far side. And deflected out, making direct contact, of course, with our scoreboard camera. We'll get that realigned for you in just a moment. Tied up now at 14. All the way in front of the stands, tracked down by Montalvo Lugo. And the end result, another spike for Ryan Franklin. Gives Milford the lead back at 15-14. Serve for Guerra. Dug out by Davis. Montalvo Lugo with the return. Ultimately deflected out. Last touched by the Hawks and tied up at 15. So neither side can stretch out a lead here through these middle stages of the second set. Cambridge taking the first set, looking to take a stranglehold on the match. Callahan sets it up behind for Franklin. Davis to the back row, to a knee goes Guerra to play it. Now Franklin with a soft one that's handled. Sent over, off speed by Eric Sue, who gets the kill. And that puts the Falcons back on top. And if you can hear the loud thuds getting picked up in the gym, that is the sub-varsity players for Cambridge giving their all to support their varsity counterparts. Sue trying to set that ball, might have felt Jaden Ferreira-Miller charging in from behind, and that got things a little out of sorts for the Falcons. Serve now on the Milford side for Gustavo Bento. And a little bit of trash talking going on the court after that kill for the Falcons, as Jaden Ferreira-Miller had a few words for the Hawks on the other side. Cambridge back in front now, 17-16, and an ace for Davis, who sent that one right on the blind on the far side. Milford down the line, diving play to keep it alive. It's sent back over, a good scramble for the Falcons, and now a diving play for Muluglu Brang. And Guerra uncorks one long. And that is going to give the Falcons now a 19-16 lead, as it starts to feel like this set is slipping away from the Hawks. Coach Mainini might be feeling the same thing as he calls the timeout. Milford at one point in this set had an 8-3 lead. It's been a 16-8 set since. To put the Falcons in good position here. As we look at the schedule moving forward for Milford. And things might look a little bit different on the schedule for the Hawks this season, playing as an independent team. After the match today, they will be on the road for their next two, facing Medfield and Lexington. Their next home game doesn't come until the month of May, taking on Minnechaug Regional on May 3rd. They'll have another 3 straight away games after that. So only 4 total home games for the Scarlet Hawks until we get to May 18th, and then there's a lot of home cooking on the back end of the schedule. Milford in a vulnerable position right now, down 19-16, and also down a set as Ben Davis continues to serve for the Falcons. And Milford called for another double hit to put Cambridge Ringe Latin within 5 points of taking a commanding 2-0 lead. Davis, the 6'2" senior, has been very good behind the service line so far in this match. Milford lifts that return over the front row, but Cambridge was there in support thanks to Jeremy Kravitz. Now a deflection and off into the crowd. Point for the Falcons to give them a 21-16 lead. And a lot of frustration starting to show through on the Milford side of the floor. This is a program that has not suffered too many defeats in the last couple of seasons. Here's Guerra. He delivers a kill to finally get Milford back on the scoreboard. Serve now for Milford's Jimmy Ayala. Play whistled there, ending in a point for Cambridge. Contact made there with the podium for the official up at the net. Cambridge 3 points away now from the set. Tashi Mulug-Lebrang on serve. Set delivered sharply from side to side, delivered across by Guerra, and then a tremendous spike for Leo Rothenberg. These Cambridge Ringe Latin fans and bench players having a good time. Milford trying to change the tempo there, but Lebrang had the answer. The ensuing return goes long, but right now the dynamics on each side of the floor considerably different. A lot of smiles, a lot of swagger on the Cambridge side of the floor. Milford right now, a lot of faces turned downward. Serve from Vinny Colinetti. Blocked up front. Guerra with his back to the net delivers it over. And now driven down the line out of the reach of Ayala. And it's set points coming up for the Falcons at 24-18. Eric Sue will take over on serve. Set up again for Guerra. Dug out by Lebrang. Lifted ball for Cambridge, and Milford fights off one set point. A lot more work for the Hawks to do, but one of their trusted veterans behind the service line right now, and Arthur Gomes. All the way over with one shot for Cambridge. And now they regroup, pushing it over with two hands, but they'll rule it a double hit. And another set point saved by Milford. take it just 1 point at a time, still 24-20. Rothenberg going for the dagger, but his spike falls short, and the coaching staff for Cambridge Ringe Latin not liking what they're seeing as Milford has now saved 3 straight set points, and so they will call a timeout here. Milford still operating without a net, so to speak, down 24-21, but hanging tough. Saving 3 set points so far to give the Hawks a little bit of life, a little bit of energy out on the floor. Now both teams set to retake the floor. Gomes already in position, waiting to deliver the next serve. Gomes ready, the noise ratcheting up in the gym. Another set point for Cambridge Ringe Latin, and that ball goes awkwardly off the hands of Henry Bonney. And a 4th set point saved by Milford. And now a power shot coming from the near side, but sent out on the back once again by Bonney, and things getting really interesting now. If Milford can save one more, it'll level the set. Again, Gomes on serve, and a little soft touch. Milford able to hang in, and that shot drifts over the net. They'll call the infraction at the net front for Cambridge, and Milford has saved their 6th set point, and we're now tied up in the 2nd set at 24. Now pushed to the front for the first time. The Falcons starting to feel some pressure. Guerra with a hard return. It's delivered over. The setup again for Alex. Soft return this time for Cambridge to the net front. Sent over by Callahan. Now sets for Guerra. And the streak ends for the Scarlet Hawks, as finally Cambridge is able to outlast Milford in a lengthy rally. But 6 set points saved for the Hawks. They'll have to save a 7th if they're going to stay in this set, as Cambridge retakes the lead at 25-24. So again, just as we did in the first set, going past the required 25 points. A gutty 2nd set performance here for Milford. So, see if there's some better energy now coming from these players as they retake the floor after this timeout. So the teams return now. Another set point opportunity for Cambridge Ringe Latin on the serve of Henry Bonney. Very soft. Milford competing at the net front. They take the point, and they tie the set up yet again. And a chance now for Owen Callahan. Sue setting it up. Milford timing the jump perfectly for the block. Callahan the first to get to this one. Now Gomes setting it up for Guerra. Guerra gets the deflection, off the hands of Davis, and it is now Milford who will have a set point. They've saved 7 Cambridge Ringe Latin set points here in the second, and now a set point of their own on the Callahan serve. And now Cambridge will save one. No one wants the second set to end. Tied up now at 26. The serve now for Leo Rothenberg. Ends in a point for Milford. And now another set point chance for the Hawks on top, 27-26. Serve now from Alex Guerra. Returned by the libero, Arthur Gomes, and now to the back. It is long, and somehow, some way, Milford comes back from the brink here in the second set to earn a 28-26 victory to tie this matchup at a set apiece. Again, 7 set points saved in the second for the Scarlet Hawks. Boy, did they gut that one out. We'll see how that changes the tenor of this match as we head into the third set. Tied up now. Coverage will continue in just a moment here on Milford TV. Well, Milford pulled things back from the brink in the second set to earn a thrilling 28-26 win that tied this matchup at a set apiece. So back to even as we begin the third. Milford playing with a new level of energy. Hawks thought that that shot was good. I don't know if they thought they might have gotten a deflection there, as it did appear to go beyond that back corner. The first point goes to the Falcons. Newman unleashing on that return. Got blocked, but Milford kept hacking away and eventually get the equalizer. So we can't say it enough. Milford found themselves in a deep hole. They fought off 7 set points, 6 in a row to tie at 24, and then faced another set point at 25-24. Fought that one off as well and ultimately gutted their way to a 28-26 win in that set. So will that be a point in the season that this team looks back on as a moment where this team started to gel together? Taking a 2-1 lead here in the early stages of the second. A lot of bodies flying at the net. And starting to feel some animosity brewing back and forth from these two teams the deeper we get into this match. We saw some trash talking on the Cambridge side in the second set. And Owen Callahan on these last 2 points has had an enthusiastic reaction directed right at the opposing side. As Milford gets some help from the rafters to drop that ball back down on the Cambridge side, and Milford has won 5 of the first 6 points of this third set. A lot of ups and downs in that second set. Milford came out very strong, held an 8-3 lead, and then a big momentum swing put Cambridge in control. Long-rangey play from Ben Davis to keep that ball in play right in front of our setup, but now Guerra attacks the back row and gets a deflection off the hands of Bonnie out of play. And it's a 6-1 start now in this third set. Serves keep coming from Vinny Colinetti. Point earned back now for the Falcons. Colinetti checks out. Alex Stoyron checks back in. And here's Rothenberg now on serve, as Callahan catches the Falcons by surprise. A quick flip to deliver that over instead of deliver the set. Nicely executed for Owen Callahan. And now Arthur Gomes, and you can't understate the performance of Arthur Gomes in that second set comeback for Milford, as he was on serve for all 6 of the first set points saved for the Scarlet Hawks. Stepping up when his team needed him most. It's now a 7-3 Hawks lead here in the third. Serve from Jeremy Kravitz. Guerra to the back row, and Brang was able to take some off of that serve, but ultimately the return shot is delivered out along the near sideline. Lead in the set is 5. Milford has not been able to enjoy a really large lead at any point in this match. This match is the largest lead that they have had, as this is the identical margin that it was when the second set began. Milford will extend the lead here on the double touch on the Cambridge side. Callahan with a flat serve that didn't quite get the necessary net clearance. Era now gets it right back and gets a deflection that came up high on Milford. Puts Milford into double figures. Getting a chance to see it a second time with the delay on our live stream. It did indeed catch Milford, maybe off the side of the face. Yes, now a return drifts wide over towards the far side. And momentum right now seems to be squarely behind the Scarlet Hawks, as Milford starts to gain some additional spectators on their side, as it looks like the baseball team has wrapped up their game for the day and has now joined this volleyball crowd. Hard deflection there, but a nice job by Cambridge to keep play alive. Guerra goes down to the floor, as does Callahan. Doiron can't get the clearance over on the far side. Moves the score to 11-5. This match is sure to go at least 4 sets. It's been a long afternoon here in this steamy Milford gym. 11-6 now. It's Tashi Milford. Will deliver the serve. Set up for Franklin. That one snuck down. That time the duo of Rothenberg and Bonnie couldn't get the block. The lead at 6 for Milford. Gomes gets a rest on the sideline. That ball drifts over out of play. And immediately, Gomes heads back out onto the floor. Set up for Newman. And again, Milford begging for the deflection call. They do not get it. Joey Newman very animated out there on the floor. And now uses the left hand to give the little kiss over the net to get the kill. We saw a lot of this boys team leading player practices in the offseason when we were here throughout the winter sports season covering basketball. A lot of late nights we'd see these players hoisting the nets to get some practice in. Joey Newman seemed to be front and center in all of those practices, an eager participant along with the rest of his teammates. So the preparation for this season has been on. No doubt a lot of these players knew that they would be filling new roles, getting used to this varsity level. So credit to these players for doing a lot of work in the offseason to be as prepared as they could be. But meanwhile, some uncomfortable moments here for the Hawks as Cambridge has cut this one 6-point lead down to 3. Serves continue from Henry Bonnie. Newman, another hard shot that this time stays inside the back line for the kill. Iggy Colinetti back out. He will serve with Milford up 14-10. Rothenberg from the far side gets blocked. Cambridge delivers another return. Now to the back, but out. Too long on the return for Milford. Back down to a 3-point margin at 14-11. Here's Newman again, delivers it low. Bonney couldn't save it. That had to sting the fingertips of Henry Bonney. Scoreboard momentarily reset, but back now at 14-11. And now having issues again, so perhaps having to adjust the point totals here. Let's see. So now they have it set to 16-11, which has drawn the ire of the Cambridge crowd. And so now we look to be properly calibrated at 15-11. Milford teams up for the block, Franklin and Guerra. Now a nice play spinning along the far sideline for Ayala, but then Milford called for the double hit. And it looks like the Cambridge coaching staff reining in the reactions just a bit from the players out on the floor. Conversation between coaches and officials before we continue with the score now at 15-12. Now Alex with Milford again asking for the deflection. This time they get the benefit of the call. Score now 16-12 in favor of Milford as the spectators send the ball back into play. Callahan serving now for the Hawks. So the back row here. Callahan will set it on the far side for Guerra, and another hard deflection out. And this time Milford turns their attention to the stands to try to get these Milford fans engaged, and the fans happy to oblige. Officials trying to keep the emotions in check here. I think perhaps some of the Milford bench players spilled out a little too far onto the court on that celebration, and the official up top delivering a message to Arthur Gomes to keep those players off the floor. And now the official down by the scorer's table also pushing the bench players a little further away from the sideline. It is 17-12 in favor of the Hawks. They have led for the entirety of this third set. Milford looking for the block, but that one snuck across by number 5, Ben Davis. Lead carved down to 4 as Davis will now serve. Gomes pushes it to the front, set up for Guerra. And Guerra gets the front row deflection for another kill. Alex now will serve. This time, Henry Bonney beating the front row, getting the deflection and the kill. LeBrang now about to serve again for the Falcons. And set up for Ryan Franklin. Outstanding court vision there for Ryan. Didn't deliver that shot too hard, just found the empty space on the floor and executed. And now Gustavo Bento on serve. Callahan with a mad scramble on the floor there. But to no avail as Cambridge takes the point. We continue to hover around a 4-point Milford lead as we get to the late stages of this set. Of course, late stages is a relative term as we've gone deep in each of the first two sets. And some issues on the substitutions here for Milford. This is going to lead to a brief conversation. So good now as Milford has their personnel situated. Eric Sue with the serve for Cambridge. Guerra over the middle, blasts it, it's blocked, and then Guerra and Callahan come together. A lack of communication out on the floor cuts the Milford lead now to 3. And so it is Cambridge now looking to execute a late comeback. Here's Guerra to the back row, quick hands for LeBrang. But a return delivered out past the back line puts Milford to the 20-point threshold. 5 points from taking a lead in this match. As we continue to go deeper into the evening hours now at 8:16 in the evening here on this Friday night. Deflection that goes out. (20 to 17) now. The lead continues to shrink for the Scarlet Hawks. They get one back. That ball was delivered into the net on the Cambridge side. 4 points to the set for Milford, as Colinetti once again takes over on serve. Lined up for Rothenberg, but Milford digs it out. Now to the middle of the floor off the return for Newman. Now set up for Guerra, and drop down outside the near sideline. Some of the Milford fans wanted a held ball called earlier in that rally. It does not come. And a 3-point differential yet again. Leo Rothenberg with the serve. Now Guerra slaps that ball towards the back line, but it's long. Down to a 2-point Hawks lead. Guerra again blasts one, and this time it's deflected off the hands of Bonney and out. Neither coach calling a timeout here in this late situation, letting the players decide it on the floor, at least for the time being. On the serve of Arthur Gomes. Here's Franklin with a return. That ball popped straight up in the air. It almost caught the rooftop, but it comes back down playable for the Falcons. Now this one takes a hop over. Milford scrambling. One more hit, and Guerra's able to get it across. Drifted over by Davis, and Callahan couldn't regroup. And it's carved down to a 22-20 score. Milford's led by as many as 6. He felt that lead at a couple of points in the second set. It's now down to 2 as Franklin slams that one down for the kill. Communication key in these situations, and you could see right there Milford coming together with some strong words of communication, keeping everyone on the same page. Owen Callahan serving. And Cambridge maybe getting a little too fancy there as they had Jaden Ferreira-Miller ducking out of the way. Cambridge couldn't execute a return, and that sets up some set point opportunities for Milford on the other side of this timeout. Milford on top 24-20. So again, after this match, Milford will have some time off. They won't play again until Monday the 24th. So they will not play through the April vacation week. So about 10 days in between matches. Milford looking to make this one count to climb over the 500 mark. So Milford 24, Cambridge 20. Set points for the Hawks. Callahan back out to serve. Looking to end it right here. Set up again for Davis along the near side, and it's deflected out off the hands of Alex Doiron. So a set point saved for the Falcons. Set up for Guerra, and that's deflected off the front. And a point for the Scarlet Hawks, and no extra time needed in this third set. Milford takes care of business, and they win this third set 25-21. So Milford takes their first lead overall in the match, and they look to end things in the fourth set. That fourth set will get started after just a quick break. Stay with us on the coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. Milford kept things close in the opening set. It was theirs for the taking in the end, but Cambridge escaped with a 26-24 win in that first set. Then Milford allowed an early lead in the second set to evaporate. Cambridge took control. Had a series of set points that Milford was able to fight off. And ultimately, the Hawks won that second set 28-26. Now they're fresh off of a 25-21 win in set 3. And a chance now to claim the match if they can take care of business here in set 4. Cambridge serves first to get this fourth set started, and Milford immediately in a scramble. Cambridge takes the first point. There's been some bad blood at times on the court between these two teams. That has only raised the stakes. Eric Sue serving for the Cambridge Ringe Latin Falcons. Diving play by the libero Mulug Lebrang. Now driven to the other side by Henry Bonney, but Milford up to the task with a good block. Here is Arthur Gomes, one of the stars of this game tonight. Delivers a serve down the line. Cambridge called for the held ball. And Gomes gets a big time assist from the top of the net as that ball rolls over. He'll take the ace. Milford an early 3-1 lead. Another block over on the far side. Callahan was over there. Now flipped over by Franklin. Body's getting tangled up on the Cambridge side as that ball glances off the fingertips of Alex Doiron and out. Not sure if that ball would have gone long. Doiron played it. Went off his fingers and he immediately patted his chest saying, "My bad." Close here through the early points. Serve now for Henry Bonney. Flat-footed Bonney sends it back across over the middle of the floor. Now Guerra gets the deflection in the front. And then Davis might have started that jump a little too soon. Lost some of his height as he approached the net and ended up delivering that return into the net. Milford a slim 4-2 lead. Coach Mainini tweaks the personnel on the floor before Callahan serves. Milford again with the block. Delivered over but wide. And that's a part of this match that's really flipped as we've gone on. Cambridge seemed to really own the net front in the first set. But as the second set went on and throughout the third set, Milford's really made the adjustments. They've gotten some quality blocks up front. Guerra blasts one down the line. That's in. Another kill for the junior captain, Alex Guerra. Rothenberg to the back, and that is just long. Might have missed that back line by a millimeter or two. But Milford will take it as they take a 7-3 lead. And now that ball slips through the fingers of Ben Davis. And for the third set in a row, Milford jumps out to an 8-3 lead. Davis again, and this time victimized by the block. And then a held ball called on the Cambridge side. Cambridge ends up calling a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout on the broadcast as well. It is 9-3 Milford here in set number 4. Action will continue in just a moment here on Milford TV. Alex Guerra serving out of the timeout. Milford on top 9-3, up in the match, 2 sets to 1. Can make it a 10-3 lead. As Cambridge sub-varsity players still giving their team plenty of support from the sideline, but Milford keeps on rolling. Up now 11-3. Now set up over the middle, a little touch shot for Leo Rothenberg. That change of tempo helps end the Milford run. Puts us at 11-4. Kravitz serving for the visitors. Franklin from the far side. It's dug out. Pushed over softly from the middle of the floor, and Milford fooled on that return by Henry Bonney. And so that's 2 kills in a row that came off speed, so Cambridge trying to shake things up. A service error now for Jeremy Kravitz. Ends the brief run for the Falcons. Gustavo Bento will step behind the service line with Milford on top 12-5. Davis, fadeaway return. Now to the back row. That one might have been going long, but Cambridge played it. And now Davis racing towards the net, could not get there in time. Cambridge might have done Milford a favor there, as that shot from Milford looked like it was going to go out. That time the serve does go long for the Hawks. A 7-point Milford lead, as Davis will now serve for Cambridge Ringe Latin. Now a powerful return from the front row by Joey Newman for the kill. Coach Mainini's had an effective rotation throughout this match. A lot of players contributing. As Rothenberg logs a quality kill for the Falcons. The dig for Gomes, and then the quick flip from Callahan. And so this time it's Milford changing up the tempo. Cambridge asking for a held ball call. They will not get it. Colinetti with a service error. Puts it right back on the Cambridge side. The serve for Eric Sue, one of the few underclassmen on this roster. All the way to the net. Sky high set. Callahan for Guerra. And that even gets the coaching staff smiling on the sidelines. Style points for the Hawks. And trying to read lips on the sidelines through a smile, Coach Mainini telling Owen Callahan that was really good, but perhaps not what we need right now. Getting a little flashy with the lead. Coach Mainini wanting Milford to take care of business and close out this victory. Cambridge with a long return shot on a scramble to get that ball back across, but Milford answers right back with the spike. And Milford is dominating this fourth set right now, up 17-8. Gomes with a service error, a rare one on the night. His service game has been so key. Henry Bonney now hoping to put his team on a run with a good service game. He starts it off well with an ace. 2 quick points in the Falcons' favor. Milford lead cut to 7. Callahan pushes to Guerra, and Guerra knifes that return in between Falcons players for the kill. Alex seems to only be getting better as this match has gone along. Back to Owen Callahan behind the service line. Pushed too long up front by Montalvo Lugo. And this puts the Falcons into another timeout, with Milford all of a sudden 6 points away from closing out this match. And this will give us a chance to give you an update on our upcoming coverage schedule here on Milford TV. We will not have any coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics during the vacation week next week, giving our crew a little bit of rest and relaxation before we come back for the stretch run of this spring campaign. So our next coverage will come on Tuesday, April 25th. We'll be back out on the lacrosse field to cover the girls varsity team in action against Foxborough. One of 2 girls lacrosse games that we'll have on that week. We'll also have girls lacrosse coverage on Thursday, April 27th in action against Mansfield. And wedged in between, we will have another edition of Scarlet Hawks baseball, this time under the lights over at Fino Field, hosting Mansfield in a 7 p.m. start time. So that all coming up in a couple of weeks' time. In the meantime, you can enjoy all of our coverage so far on the season streaming at youtube.com/MyMilfordTV. We've covered a game apiece of all of the spring teams in our rotation: baseball, softball, girls and boys lacrosse, and now this boys volleyball team. All of those games available for streaming. Back to action now with Milford on top 19-10. And Davis catching Callahan by surprise. The Falcons senior gets the kill. Cambridge trying to stay within striking distance, trailing 19-11 now. Guerra digs, now a chance for the return, and gets yet another deflection to put Milford at an even 20 points. And some footing trouble for the Falcons along that near sideline. Eric Sue doing all he could to try to save that, but Cambridge running out of touches. Running out of time in this fourth set. Milford 4 points away now. Guerra cruising on his serve. Rothenberg able to get a good return that glances off of Gomes and out. So a 9-point Hawks lead. As Kravitz will again take over on serve for Cambridge Ringe Latin. Set up for Franklin. Block on the Cambridge side. They'll try it again. Too many touches on the Milford side of the floor. Back-to-back points recorded by the Falcons. Milford in some trouble. Gomes, his momentum took him all the way across the net. As Milford gets called for the infraction. A little mini run going on here now for Cambridge. Milford with some words with the official, trying to argue the call, but trying to shake it off now and able to get right back to business, staying focused. That kill makes it a 22-14 lead. Milford 3 more points to get. Bento on serve. Milford scrambling. Here's Guerra, but didn't have the right angle, sent it into the net. And that was an extra touch at any rate. So 22-15. Here's Newman, he won't get the chance. Milford called for the double touch. It's back to Ben Davis. There's Newman, he uncorks one, that goes long, and Milford maybe pressing a bit here. Another chance here for Davis. Guerra up to the net, pushed back. Sprawling play along the near sideline for Kravitz, and then a hard return on the other side of the floor. And Coach Mainini not at all pleased with what he's seeing, as Cambridge has now cut it back down to a 4-point deficit. No giving up in these Falcons. So Coach Mainini now trying to lock his players back in. Cambridge, after this game wraps up today, will have their next contest on Wednesday of next week against St. John's Prep. Cambridge Ringe Latin out of the dual county league. Milford, formerly of the Tri-Valley League, now playing as an independent team. Both teams back out on the floor now. Davis ready to continue the service game. 22-18 is the Milford lead. Set up on the far side. Now a one-handed return for Bonnie. Now to the back row, and that is out. anxious moments here for the Scarlet Hawks. Trying to change up the tempo once again. Bonnie delivering a hard return that goes off the hands of Guerra and out. And this lead for Milford has been sliced down to just 2. Milford had a 22-14 lead. But it's been 6 straight points now for the Falcons. Now from the near side, it is blocked, and the deflection goes out of play, and we are down to a 1-point differential. And Coach Mainini looks like he's going to pull his team over for another timeout. Milford right now with no answers. They were 3 points away from victory. This set looked over. We were saying that earlier in this match in the second set when Milford mounted their comeback. So both of these teams now showing resiliency. A few more seconds on the timeout. Cambridge returns to the field, returns to the court, I should say. A match that was originally scheduled to begin at 6:15. It did not get underway until 7, and now quickly approaching the 2-hour mark. And suddenly the outcome getting a little bit more murky. Milford's once 8-point lead down to just 1 point. Right now, the officials conferring with the scores table. Athletic Director Peter Boucher over there as well. Going to get a few things squared away as Ben Davis eagerly awaits his next serve. Crowd quieted down for the moment. And now we are set to continue. A serve from Davis. A deflection off the hands of Guerra. And the lead now fully erased by Cambridge. 8 consecutive points now on the Falcons side. Block up front, and a held ball for Milford now puts Cambridge in front. And visible frustration now out on the floor for the Scarlet Hawks, as now Cambridge is 2 points from forcing a 5th and deciding set. Down the line for Milford, doesn't stay in. And they're going to call a jump, they're going to call a redo, they're going to redo the point. A ball down the line. A little tricky from our vantage point, but from floor level it looked to be in. The two officials caught looking at one another. Neither wanted to make a definitive call, and so we replay the point at 23-22. And now this ball going Milford's way to tie things back up. Emotions running very high here in the gym. 23-all. And the return for Cambridge goes long. And so amid all the twists and turns, now Milford has a single set point. Up 24-23, it is a match point On the serve for Jimmy Ayala. And an infraction on the serve for Milford, a rotation violation. Or will they say it was a foot fault on the service line? And now the call being changed to replay the point. And so these officials now having some issues here at the most critical moments of this match. So once again, we will replay it. 24-23 match point for the Hawks. Rothenberg's return is blocked, but the ball comes down out of play. And we are tied at 24. Set point saved for the Falcons. Now a deflection up front. Waiting for that one to come down. Now Rothenberg sets it up. Guerra on the back row. Callahan back to Alex. That ball deflected, but still playable. And now the spike for Milford will set up another match point. Another chance for Milford to close out this match. And play whistle to a halt. Right now the point awarded on the Milford side. A pad coming loose over on the far side of the court. Right now, the only call we've seen is a point awarded to Milford. And so I beg your pardon, my apologies, that was not a set point. The point was awarded to Milford. Now it is match point for the Scarlet Hawks, up 25-24. Milford urging this crowd to keep the energy up. Gomes keeps that ball alive. Nice rangy play for Ayala. Milford gets the return. Players going down. Callahan will set it meanwhile for Guerra. Gets a hard deflection, but Muluglabrang is there. And now the return down the line is deflected out. And another match point is saved. So over the course of this match, Milford has saved 7 set points. Cambridge Ringe Latin now have saved 4 set points, 2 of those being match points. It has been a wild one here in the Milford gym tonight. Here is Guerra, gets a hard deflection that cannot be returned. And how about a third match point for the Scarlet Hawks? Will a third time be the charm? They have Arthur Gomes behind the service line this time. This ball popped high up in the air. Needs a cautious return for Bonnie. Now pushed back across. Callahan will set it for Guerra, gets the deflection off the front row, and it drops down for the deciding point in this match. Milford wins the 4th set, 27-25. 3 of the 4 sets played here go beyond the 25-point threshold, but in the end, Milford wins a thriller, 3-1 in come-from-behind fashion. What an outstanding matchup between these two schools. Back and forth action, big points, big comebacks on both sides, but ultimately Milford takes it by that final score of 3-1. So with the victory, Milford will jump over the 500 mark now. They are 4-3. And with the loss, Cambridge Ringe Latin will fall to 1-3 overall on the season. So that's going to wrap things up here for this game tonight. Again, a bit of a hiatus in our spring sports coverage. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with girls lacrosse action coming up on April 24th. We hope you will join us then In the meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew out for coverage this evening. Our crew supervisor is Patrick Garapi. Our camera operator is Tim Zalewski, and I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats Cambridge Ringe Latin 3-1. This has been a presentation of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.